Now let's make sure we're live.
I saw the message pop up on.
Okay,
So.
awesome. Now we're live.
Mhm.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for your patience, Jaynee. I'm telling you, one day I'm going to get this Facebook Live thing down. One day. Thank you so much for being here. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Ansela, and this is Crypto Journeys, the series. And today we're so excited to have our special guest, Jaynee Sasso, here with us today to talk about her crypto journey. Welcome, Renee. I'm sorry. Jaynee, see, nerves.
No
Jaynee,
problem.
I'm looking at Jaynee. Is it Renee?
It's the
Welcome,
end of the
Jaynee.
day. It's okay. It's the end of the
Thank
day.
you for understanding. Thank you for being here with us. So,
Thank you for
Jaynee,
having me.
absolutely. So, please tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do, whatever it is you want to share.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a New Jersey native, born and raised, and moved to Virginia about 13 years ago. Um, Due to the the Great Recession, as it's called. I was one of the casualties of the Great Recession,
Mm-hmm.
and so, well, I should say my family, because when you suffer when one suffer economically, it brings the whole family, to a different space. So we had to make some moves, and we had to basically pack up and leave town and try to, rise above the ashes and sort through all the rubble of, that was left. I was a financial coach. I had my securities license, my Series 6 and 63, my insurance producer's license. So I was very much immersed in the financial world. And I kind of saw that it was coming. And I was a real estate broker as well. So I was watching all of those home loans be given to people that didn't make enough money. And I was like, what? You got how much? You wanted me to sell your house for how much? So the writing was on the wall. And it's just that, some things you just can't prepare for, right? My husband, he's a lot older than me. So he had worked all his life, and he lost about 75% of his retirement. So even the monies that we thought we would have had, to live off of or what have you, it wasn't there anymore. So we had to make some changes and some decisions, and that we ended up coming to Virginia. Not for any particular reason. It was just we had family here. We had a support system in the area. So that's how we kind of landed here. So, but yeah, I got here back on my feet. I launched let me see, I done had a lot of babies, but this is my biggest baby. I own a company called Senior Runs, and we provide what we call companion rides to seniors in our community. And I've had a lot of different businesses. I mean, I started my entrepreneurial journey when I was probably about 19 years old. I had to leave college in my sophomore year to be able to come home and care for loved ones so that my mom could go back to work and do what she needed to do. So I've had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of obstacles that I've had to overcome, and I've learned a lot. And now my goal is just to help others, help educate them about how to navigate adversity, because it's a part of life. It's never going to stop. And you just have to learn how to navigate through it. And there are certain steps and a mindset that you have to have in order for you to recover from those type of circumstances. So, yeah.
That is so true. Just navigating adversity. I like how you said that. But just for good measure, please share your website for your business, because I love that idea of companion rides for seniors. So if someone were interested, how can they get more information?
Yeah, so you can go to visit us online at Senior Runs. It's RUNS.com. So seniorruns.com, all one word. And, you can, if you live in the Virginia area, we're not nationwide yet. If you go to our website, you think we're this huge company.
You are a huge company. You're a huge company.
Well, it's coming. It's coming.
Right.
That's the vision. That's the vision. So you start off building it like you want to see it in the end. So it looks like it's a franchise. It will be. We're very much on our way to making that happen. So yep. Right now we're only in the Virginia area, but reach out to us anyway, because we're looking at the next city that we're going to be in. So it's helpful when people call and ask for the service and say, well, I need you here. Then we can kind of figure out where the interest is and then start to build from that.
Absolutely. Okay, so seniorruns.com if anyone's
Yes, ma'am.
interested. So thank you for sharing a little bit about your background, navigating diversity. I like that. I mean, adversity. So what happened that made you pay attention to cryptocurrency?
Well, I've been knowing about cryptocurrency since I was in the financial arena. It just was not mainstream, and it was something that was kind of like being kept a secret. It wasn't something that was just being talked about as openly as it is today, because there's a lot of skepticism. Anytime there's something new, people don't believe it, right? And so I was very curious about it, but I just wasn't in a point in life where I was able to really dedicate my mind to pay attention. I wish I had, because had I, even though I lost a lot, I still had the little, $20. I could have bought some Bitcoin and been, and been kind of sitting pretty right now. But when you're going through a lot, you're just trying to survive. You're not really looking for the opportunity to take advantage of something like cryptocurrency, which doesn't have, at that time, it didn't have a lot of security with it, or so you, and especially then, everybody was like trying to take their hat and coat and run and leave town. So, it's just that I always knew about it, always kind of paid attention to it, but finally got to a point in life where I could pay attention to it, if you know what I mean. I mean, I can actually take some money and invest and be able to make some momentum happen with the crypto space. And I like what I see now. I see how it's developed. And it's just, to me, it's one of those tools that you need to have in your financial arsenal. I mean, I'm looking at, just the economics of where we are today in the world as a country. The bill that just passed, 1.9 trillion, where's that money going to come from? So I'm telling people, you better think differently about your value of your cash, because it does not have the same value. It will not have the same value. And a lot of folks are going to be caught by surprise when the bill comes due. And so crypto for me is kind of that alternate strategy that I'm going to be using to secure me and my family from whatever may come in the future.
Right, exactly. And I love that you mentioned you weren't really able to focus on it because you were trying to survive. And that's something that I often say, because my focus is really to bring awareness about cryptocurrency to those of us who have just been in survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
We hear a lot of people throwing around the term generational wealth, generational
Mm-hmm.
wealth. And yes, that sounds fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But when your rent is due, or you need to buy some groceries, you're not thinking
Think
about
about
your
that.
grandkids. You're thinking about, okay, I need this right now.
Yep.
And so I think it's important for us to remember, regardless of where we are financially, there are those of us who cannot thrive because we're just trying to survive. And so cryptocurrency can definitely offer a solution even in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for mentioning that.
Definitely.
All right. So what you kind of addressed this, your aha moment, and what moved you to get involved? What moved you to really just go ahead and dive in?
Well, I actually, because I saw you talking about it, and I said, and it was like a good reminder, like, Jaynee, you need to stop what you're doing for a moment, because I am super busy. I don't think nobody's busier than me. I'm super busy. So for me to stop, I have to be disciplined and just say, okay, stop, and push that to a side for a moment and just start learning a little bit at a time, right? Sometimes we play tricks on ourselves because we think we have to dedicate, 8 hours and, 24 hours to study something. If you got to start somewhere. You might not have a whole hour to dedicate. Well, you could have 15 minutes, right? So that's how I talk to myself when I feel like I'm avoiding something that I need to do. I just say, okay, stop with the excuses. Yes, you may not have an hour, you may not have 30 minutes, but you can find 15 minutes. I do the same thing with my exercise, right? I hate exercising. So I'm like, Jaynee, if you can just do 30 minutes, you good. You got 30 minutes because you're going to take 30 minutes to eat lunch. Come on. So that's just kind of how I motivated myself. And then by having you constantly pop up on my feed, I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop, and I am going to pay attention because I don't want to miss this opportunity, right? I don't want to be on the late end. It's the same thing with the housing market when it crashed with the Great Recession. Those people that were in the front end of it, they made a lot of money. It was those of us that was on the end that was trying to like, oh, we can get a house real cheap. And then by the time we bought the house, the market value crashed and then you lost all your money. So I'm tired of being on the back end. I want to be on the front end of something that is up and coming and new and and provides opportunity. So it was just time for me to stop what I was doing and at least dedicate a little bit of my time to be able to educate myself. And then after a while, I just wanted to learn more. I found the tools and the resources. You got me going. And then once you got me going, then I was like, okay, I got enough that I can start to do some Google research myself and read a couple of articles. So now sometimes I'm sitting in the bed scrolling instead of scrolling on Facebook. I'm gonna look up Coinbase has some great tutorials. A lot of these websites have great tutorials. So I just sit and take a few minutes and just look through them, read about them, and then, go on about my day. So you just got to make time for it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad to have played a role in motivating you to take the time to look into cryptocurrency.
Yeah, sometimes you need that reminder, and because you can, if it's not in your purview, you just forget about it, right? So you're good at making sure that I kept, the bell kept going off saying, Jaynee, crypto, you got to pay attention.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. So you've done a lot. You run your own business, you're into cryptocurrency. So with everything that you have going on, do you feel that cryptocurrency has impacted your life at all? And if so, how?
Yeah, because as I look at what's happening in the world, I'm trying to figure out ways to empower the people that I love and care about, right? So a lot of times, again, when your family and friends are hungry and you eating well, it makes you feel some kind of way. I want everybody to eat, right? So my learning about it and utilizing it and being able to take that back and show other people, that to me helps me to empower them so that they won't be on the back end when everything, changes. So yeah, for me, it's just about empowering people. I employ a lot of people. I serve a lot of people in my community, my seniors. So it's just for me another way to give back and to make sure that I'm not the only one that's eating at the end of the day.
Right. I love that. And that is so true. That's the practicality of it. You can't do everything for them, but you can at least show them, hey, this is an option. Check this out. Take a few dollars, put into it, help them to, get themselves in position as well.
Exactly.
So that's commendable. I commend you for that. And my last question, you also kind of mentioned this, but anything you want to add, what would you say to someone who's just thinking about learning more about crypto, but is hesitant for whatever reason?
Well, I think there's a lot of skepticism when you're not familiar with something. And, to be honest, most people are financially illiterate. Like I probably embrace cryptocurrency easier because finance is my background. So I understood the stock market. I know what it is, to raise funding for a business. And I have that expertise and that background. So for me, I can make sense of what I'm looking at. But for someone that doesn't have that background, it can be a little scary because you're not familiar. But at the end of the day, you have to take time to become familiar. Money is important. We wake up, I don't know about nobody else, but I probably work more than 40 hours a week. I probably do more like 80, sometimes probably 90 hours a week. I love what I do. So for me, I don't count. But for the average person, they're waking up, giving out 8 hours of their day. So to make money, and they don't know what to do or how to manage that. So you need to make it a priority, especially if you are, one that struggles in that area. Because see, for me, I'm a quick learner. I don't like repeating lessons in life. And if I find that I'm coming up with that same experience over and over, and that lets me know that I need to learn something. I'm missing it. And so if that's the situation with money in your life, then there's something different that you need to do. And you don't need to continue to run from it. You need to embrace it so that you can be open-minded to say, hey, there might be another way to do this thing. Like I was so excited when I got my crypto.com debit card in the mail,
Right.
you know, or if I see my little wallet go up, I'm like, oh, I got a little extra $20.
Right.
I'm like, that's some gas that I could get me a little dinner, you know, so it's just those little things that encourage you. And then if you continue, you'll see the real fruit of what it is that you're investing in and your ability to provide for your family and some of the larger visions and goals that you might have. So yeah, embrace it and don't continue to run away from money matters. At some point, you deal with it. And I'm one that promotes personal responsibility. I'm not a one that focuses on who did what to me. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I grew up in North New Jersey in the hood. My father was substance abuse. He was an abuser. I mean, I had, all kind of stuff happen in my life. So when people try to make it like their story is just the worst story, no, all of us go through crap. And unfortunately, it's a reality for a lot more people probably than you think.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that have made their lives better and enriched their lives in spite of it. I know I'm a prime example. So, it can be done, but you can't continue to just, blame other people for what is going wrong in your life. The bottom line is at some point you have to make different choices and decisions and take responsibility. And once you do that and you work hard and you get on the other side of it, you couldn't be more prouder than yourself. Like your self-confidence, everything goes. I mean, when I look at how I built this business, when I built my first couple of businesses that failed, I had money to put into them. This business, I didn't have anything. I was recovering from the Great Recession. So it was like, I literally okay, I earned $1, put $1 back in. I earned $2, that's literally how I did it. And then now to see how much I make, I'm like, wow, all that adversity, I didn't let it stop me. So I just keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it moving.
I commend you for that, because that says a lot, despite your challenges, your background, what you've experienced. And you're absolutely right. We've all been through something on some level. Mm-hmm. And if we really wanted to find an excuse to not do something, we can find it.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm with you with that personal responsibility. I tell people all the time, the biggest part about cryptocurrency and where we're headed with this whole digital money situation is financial responsibility. We have to be responsible. Yep. So if you're not ready to be responsible, you better just hope fiat stays around as long as it does, or as long as it can. Because you're going to be in trouble, because you're going to be responsible for your own stuff. So thank you for bringing that out. So Jaynee, thank you again for being here, for sharing so much, for sharing your story. And we're going to post this on YouTube and let everyone check it out at their convenience. And I'll send you the link so you can share it if you like.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate your support. And I was thinking, I was like, I met Jaynee so long ago on Facebook. I think we were talking about a hair podcast or way back when. And thanks to Facebook, we stayed connected, and here we are back together on crypto. So that's awesome.
Yep, exactly. Well, when you start talking about money and finance, that's my business. That's my game. That's my space. So I'm right there with you. I like to look cute, but at the same time, when you're talking about things that kind of make my eye light up, I'm like, okay, let me connect with her, because I like that. But
I'm glad you did. I'm so glad. So thank you again, and I'm going to wish you a great afternoon. And of course, we'll be talking.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Take care.
Thanks, Angela.
Thank you, Jaynee. Bye-bye.